Good morning, everybody. It is day 4 of the suffering. It's 5:30 in the morning. Like always, I've been awake for just a few minutes. Coming out to the gym to get started on my cardio. This morning, I'm 227 pounds. Yesterday I was 229. This morning I'm 227, so down a few more pounds. But again, it's mainly just water weight and like stomach weight, like intestinal, bowel weight and stuff like that from eating better food, not eating as much. But I'm a little tired this morning. It was really hard getting out of bed, but it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenging. So we just gotta remember, it's the suffering for a reason, because it's not going to be comfortable. This is supposed to be uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be a challenge, and it's supposed to be hard. So I remind myself whenever I get up in the mornings to do this, like, yeah, it's supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be easy. All right, I'm gonna do this cardio and then get back inside and cook my food. Well, that was a fun 20 minutes. I actually had something kind of pinching in my back, like my lower back hip area. I felt like something was agitated, so it kind of was bothering me doing the Stairmaster. Around minute 12, it kind of started really aggravating my back and my hip, but I did 20 minutes like I always do. I wish it was pain-free 20 minutes, but I'll figure out what's going on. Maybe I just need to do some stretching or something like that and get my hips loosened up. I think my hamstrings are just getting tight from doing cardio every day, twice a day. So I just need to probably start stretching my hamstrings a little bit more and make sure I'm not getting stiff, because it's real easy to get stiff, especially in the lower body and hip area whenever you're doing this much of cardio every single day on the Stairmaster, because the Stairmaster's working the hip adductors and adductors and all your hip flexors and everything else in between. Yeah, I was tired this morning getting up though. It was a little hard, it was a little difficult, but that's why I labeled this series The Suffering, because I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be challenging. I know it's going to be difficult getting up out of bed every single morning, at least 5 days a week, to do the cardio. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be far from easy or enjoyable. I know waking up and eating the same meal every single day, day in and day out, it's going to become difficult. It's going to become a challenge. It's going to become hard, because it's just repetitive and flavorless. But the main thing is, it's being consistent with this is what's going to yield the best results. And I know that. And you start to become a little uncomfortable with the fact of eating the same thing every single day, day in and day out. But speaking of being consistent, see what you guys think. Thinking about changing my training routine a little bit. I know I said I wasn't, but that's what I do. So looking back at some of my older footage and thinking about how I was training, because right now I'm training more like a bodybuilder / power builder. So I was actually thinking about changing it up more to like bodybuilding, where I start training everything twice a week again instead of once a week, because I'm training everything once right now. Hamstrings on Monday, chest on Tuesday, arms and shoulders Wednesday, quads on Thursday, and then back on traps on Friday. But I'm thinking about changing it up like what I was doing, where I train my chest and back on Mondays and Thursdays, arms and shoulders on Tuesdays and Fridays, quads on Wednesdays, and then hamstrings on Saturdays. Thinking about doing that and working out 6 days a week and doing everything but legs twice a week. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. I know for sure I'm going to finish this week out and continue to go the way that I'm going now. It kind of splattered on me. It hurt just a little bit. I know I'm going to continue this week out the way that I'm going, so I have 4 days to think about it, if that's what I want to do or not. Because like I said, I know This routine will put size on, it will put strength on, but being in a deficit and then doing as much cardio as I'm doing, and then trying to lift the heavier weights, not that I'm squatting, deadlifting, or benching anything heavy. So don't mistake that for what I'm saying for that, because I know you guys watch the videos and I know y'all can see the weights that I'm lifting, and I'm not lifting heavy at all. So I was thinking about slowing down the reps, doing a hard peak contraction at the top, and then a slow controlled negative, and doing sets at 8 to 12. Doing probably 3 to 4 exercises, probably about 3 exercises per muscle group per night, and then 4 sets of each exercise, and then 4 exercises each, 4 sets each exercise, and then doing really hard controlled peak contractions and slow negatives and everything else. I know it works, but it allowed me to use a lot lighter weights, but still allow me to progress and go heavier every single week, except for it will just slow down the rate that I can go heavier, and it'll slow down the amount of weight that I'm using, so that way it reduces the risk of injury. Because right now, I mean, honestly, the goal isn't to become strong. Don't get me wrong, the goal is always to be stronger, but right now the main goal isn't to become strong. Right now the goal is to not lose any muscle mass, right? Don't get hurt, and preserve as much muscle mass as you possibly can. Preserving as much muscle mass as I can while being on a cut, and then not getting hurt while getting as lean as I can. That's ultimately the goal, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So now I'm just kind of in my head right now thinking about it. What would be the best plan of action? Continuing the path that I'm on right now with a powerlifting building routine, or going to a full-on straight up bodybuilding diet. Now 4 days to decide, because if I'm going to change it, I'm going to change it come this Monday. So let me know what you guys think about it, and tell me what y'all think I should do. And I'm going to think about what I should do and go from there. But it's 6 o'clock. Let me get this food in. 9 o'clock. Time to eat my first bland chicken and rice meal. So yesterday, I was actually pretty hungry in the evening time. For those of you who want to know, bland chicken and rice and some green beans. So yesterday, my hunger was kind of off and on. Not really too bad. The evening time is whenever it kind of settled in, though. Like, I haven't really been experiencing that much hunger. I experience a little bit around 9, and then I don't experience any more throughout the day. But yesterday, probably around 8 o'clock, I started getting hungry, and that hunger just kind of hung around. I ate at 9, and then even after eating at 9 o'clock, normally when I eat my egg whites at 9, my hunger is gone and I don't have any more the rest of the night. But man, yesterday, that hunger just came in hard. Even after I ate, it just got more intense. Like, my body was mad that I didn't eat more food. So that's why I know my metabolism is picking back up and it's revving up, and my body is actually doing what I wanted to do right now. So it's working. Obviously, my weight's down. Like I said, 227 this morning, and it's steadily dropping. So now I just need the image to reflect the weight loss and start showing. But you know, you might be losing weight. It could be water weight. It could be stomach weight, like weight inside your intestinal tract, your colon, and everything like that. And also, just because you're losing weight doesn't mean you're going to see it where you want to see it. Like, everybody wants to see it in their abs, but you might be losing it in your calves. You could be losing it in your hamstrings, your hips, your lower back, your upper back, your cheeks, the back of your neck, your armpits. You got fat all over the place. Like, at least I know I do. So, you know, I'm not going to get caught up on like seeing it in the stomach area. As long as the weight's moving, I know that I'm making forward progress. Then when the time comes, the abdominals will start shaping up. So it's amazing what a difference it makes with your rice when you don't put too much water in there. So yesterday, you guys know I put way too much water in my rice. So my rice, the 8 ounces that I cook raw, swelled up to 3 meals of 13.5 ounces per meal. Way too much water, way too much volume. It was not the best texture. So yesterday, I cooked my rice with 1.5 cups of water, which put me right at 7 ounces per meal after it's cooked. So tonight, I'm gonna go up to 2 cups of water, and hopefully that puts me right at 8 ounces per meal. Now I know the calories is still for 8 ounces of rice, so regardless of how much it swells up after cooking, it's still the same amount of calories, but it's a texture thing. When you get it just right, it makes it way more enjoyable to eat whenever you get your texture just right as far as it goes for your rice. Cook it too much, it gets mushy. Don't cook it enough, it gets hard and gritty. So I'm just trying to find that perfect balance of water to ratio in the rice, so that way it's the perfect texture for what I like as far as it goes for my brown rice. Now, I mentioned hunger earlier, so yesterday I wasn't, the hunger was kind of off and on throughout the day, but not bad. It was 8 o'clock when I actually got really hungry. And then 9 p.m. whenever I ate, I just got even more hungry, and the hunger lasted all night. I woke up this morning, like always, no hunger. I don't have an appetite in the morning. I'm not hungry at all. So I did my cardio, ate breakfast, and then I started feeling hungry finally around 8:30. And that's whenever I started feeling a little bit of hunger, not bad. But now that I ate, I'm actually more hungry now than what I was before I ate my food, which is just funny. Now, the hunger might go away once my food starts to digest, or it might linger. If the hunger lingers, that's great too, because it just means it's gonna be that much easier to eat my next meal. And eating bland food with not a whole lot of flavor, the hungrier you are, the easier it is to eat. All right, more chicken and rice. It is lunchtime and it is time for chicken and rice. So today the meal is a lot better than it was yesterday because the rice isn't overcooked. I'm still gonna tweak it a little bit tonight, make sure I get it just right. But I forgot to take my multivitamin this morning, which made me upset. I don't feel like you necessarily need a multivitamin, but I feel like it does help if you're missing any micronutrients in your diet from a lack of certain kinds of food groups or food products that you may not be getting. Some people say they don't work and it's just a waste of money, but I mean, it makes my pee really bright neon yellow, so it has to be doing something. And honestly, I just feel better whenever I take them. Generally, just overall health-wise, I feel better. So it's something I've always done, and something I'll continue to do regardless of what people say about it and stuff. So my hunger came around 11:30 today. I was feeling fine all the way up to about 11:30 is whenever I started getting hungry. And so it's almost perfect timing. Like right now, the meals are almost perfect timing. And I got to say, like, this meal is really, really good. The meals are actually tasting better and better to me. They're not tasting worse and worse. And I thought they were going to be getting worse and worse. But I think it's almost kind of like the fear of missing out, isn't there? Where it's like, what do I want to eat for breakfast? Do I want to eat that? Well, what do I want to eat for dinner? Well, what do I want to, what if? It's no longer like, what flavors do I want to taste and what flavors do I want to palate on my tongue or like chew to swallow? It's just like, I'm eating this to get full, and that's all there is to it. So having very low expectations for the quality of the food and how it's going to taste makes it a lot easier to go about eating. And then on top of that too, with it being consistent, the same flavors being consistent and being so easy on the palate, it's really enjoyable. I'm actually really starting to like the flavors of all of it. Like I'm really starting to enjoy the way it's tasting, and I'm actually looking forward to my meals. And it might just be because I'm hungry, but it might just be because I'm getting used to the diet. And I thought on day 4 I'd be miserable and breaking and craving and thinking about all kinds of different foods, but I'm honestly not. I don't even really think about food at all. At all. Like even last night we went to the grocery store. We had to get more chicken and eggs, and when we go to the grocery store, I kept my head down, right? I wasn't looking around down the aisles to see what all was there, because I feel like just looking at all the other foods is just opening up the door for temptation, and it's just going to make you hungry, and it's going to make you start craving foods that you're not even supposed to be eating. So the best thing to do is just not even think about it, look at them, or even bring any attention to it. So I just kind of went there, grabbed what I needed, and left. And I was actually, whenever I left the grocery store, I was looking forward, honestly, to being able to cook my eggs and eat that with my mushrooms. But let me get this meal down. Let me finish eating this. And then I got one more meal at 3 o'clock, which I'm not going to record like I don't normally do. But I will see you guys at 4 o'clock in the gym. As far as it goes for what I was saying this morning at breakfast, if I should stick to the current routine that I'm doing or change the routine after talking to my wife and Richard, I think I've decided I am going to change it. Still want to hear what you guys think in the comments. So with the routine I was currently doing, it's more of a powerlifting routine. It's based around getting the big 3 as strong as possible. Squats, bench, and deadlift, doing 3-week mesocycles with the same weight, and then going up on the 4th week, which restarts the 3-week mesocycle, and then building your assistance work with higher reps to be able to overload and carry over to your main lifts. It's a very good routine. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun, but then I start itching to start lifting heavier and heavier, and I start getting this bad itch to want to actually start powerlifting and do a powerlifting routine and then start competing in powerlifting. And for those of you who don't know, I completely separated my pec from the tendon in a powerlifting meet and ripped it away. So I had it sewed back together, had surgery on it, but it's only held together by scar tissue. So that ship has long sailed, but I still have that old mentality of wanting to power lift. So the problem with this routine is it gets me itching. So what I'm going to do is I got to transition my mindset from powerlifting to bodybuilding. So we're going to start training 6 days a week, doing chest and back on Mondays and Thursdays, doing arms and shoulders on Tuesdays and Fridays, quads on Wednesdays, and then hamstrings on Saturdays. So I'm going to change the reps to 8 to 12 reps per set. And I don't know if I'm just going to do straight sets all the way through or if I'm going to change it up a little bit here and there. I have an idea of what I want to do for the routine, but I'm going to think it over before I actually go through with it, because the whole concept right now is, one, foremost, the most important, don't get hurt and stay injury free. 2 is preserve as much muscle mass as I possibly can while burning as much fat as I can. And then 3, get stronger than I am in my current state. So I will still continue to write down all my numbers, and I'll still continue to write down all my sets, and I'll continuously try to progress forward and get at least one more rep for the set until I hit a total of 12 reps on my top set, and then I'll go up in weight as I'm doing right now. But with a higher rep, it's easier to get stronger faster, but also I feel it's safer to go with the higher reps versus doing sets of 5, because you can go a lot heavier and you can get hurt a lot easier. And I'm kind of prone to injury because I've been doing this for a while and things just sometimes don't go my way. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to think it over. I still got a couple days to think about it, but I think that's what I'm going to do, because I was looking at some old videos of myself back from like 6-7 months ago, and my shoulders were a lot more round, a lot more capped. My arms were a lot thicker, a lot fuller. My traps, chest, everything was just bigger, thicker, and juicier. Now I know I'm going to cut. I'm doing cardio twice a day and I'm eating brown rice. So I know I'm going to be deflated and depleted, and I'm not going to look as good as I was whenever I'm eating more sodium and more carbohydrates, but it doesn't change the goal. It doesn't change the fact that, like, my pursuit is like vanity. It's for a look now. I do want to be strong. Don't get me wrong, and I love being strong, but ultimately the goal is to stay injury free so I can continue to work out and to look like I work out, and I have this really awesome home gym and I put it to use and use it. So that's going to be what I'm going to do. And like I said, I'm going to think about it over my head for a couple more days, but I think I am going to make that transition and go back to 6 days a week. So, but this is my top set on this. I'm going to go ahead and get this done so I can move to belt squats after this. I hope this little mic sounds a lot better. I know yesterday's video, it sounded a whole lot better than just the phone picking up the audio. And this little mic was only like $15 or something, so it's not too bad, as long as the phone picks up the receiver. So anyways, you know, another thing too is the reason why I'm going to change up the training a little bit is because I'm also trying to send the signals to the muscle, right? I'm trying to stimulate the muscles to grow and respond. I'm not trying to completely annihilate them to being so torn down and beat up and sore that they don't recover and they atrophy. Because doing 40 minutes of cardio a day, doing 2 sessions of 20 minutes on a Stairmaster, going on 2 10-minute walks during the day after eating, and then working out 5-6 days a week, I don't want to do too much and then I start losing muscle mass and size. So right now, again, the thing is I want to stimulate the muscles to grow and respond, or at least to be able to send the signals for the muscles to be like, okay, we have to at least maintain this size
we cannot lose any of this because we won't be able to handle the stress that we're put under every single week. And I think changing to that other program, I'll be able to actually accomplish that better than doing this powerlifting routine. Because, like I said, I love powerlifting, but my problem is I start getting a little excited with the weight and I start getting a little carried away, then I start wanting more and more and more. And then something inside of me flips a switch, then it's just like, all or nothing. There's no such thing as halfway anything. Like either if anything is worth doing, it is worth overdoing. And if you're going to do it, put 100% into it. There's no reason to do something if you're not going to give it your best. Why even start something if you can't even give it 100% of your absolute best? If you're going to commit to it and be 100% married to that thing that you're doing. And that's how I've always been about like powerlifting, but I need to transition that to bodybuilding and stuff. And I know, like, oh, you're doing it for vanity and you're doing it for looks. That's kind of vain. It's like, well, that's the reason why most people work out: health, strength, and looks. I'm pretty healthy. I'm pretty weak. I'm pretty fat. So, time to get the other two out of the three. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what routine I do. As long as I put 100% effort into it, I'm going to get results and I'm going to grow and I'm going to change. If I do a powerlifting routine and put 100% into it, I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to get bigger. If I do a bodybuilding routine, I put 100% into it, I'm going to get bigger or I'm going to get stronger. If I do some type of aesthetics thing or do some type of calisthenics or whatever, no matter what I do, as long as I put 100% into it, I'm going to obtain the results that I'm after. So regardless if it's powerlifting, power building, or bodybuilding, I just have to make sure that I'm dedicated and 100% committed to cause, because the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. And you don't detour from that. You go 100%. So if I change my routine after this week to a bodybuilding routine, then I'm going to be locked in 100% until the end of this 90-day suffering thing that I'm doing. And it's going to be 100%. No detouring from the past. Same food, same routine, same program, same everything. The only difference is I'm going to be pushing for an extra rep or an extra pound every single time I come to the gym. I'm going to be pushing to be better. I'm going to be pushing to do as best as I could possibly do for that day. Because whenever I was younger, man, when I was 14, I first got into this, I wanted to be big and I wanted to be a monster. I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I wanted to be massive. I wanted to be Mr. Olympia. I wanted to be huge. I just wanted to be big and I wanted to be strong. And then after so many years of doing that, not seeing progress and results after so long, that transitioned to, well, if I can't be big, muscular, I'd rather just be big and strong. So I started powerlifting, overeating, got really fat, got really strong, had a really great time with it. But now I'm at a point in my life where the strength is important. Don't get me wrong. It's very important to be strong, but to be as strong as I was and to push myself to continuously have that kind of strength at this point in my life, it's not necessary to, not that I was necessary back then either, but in my mindset, I'm like, man, it's just not necessary to hurt that bad to be that strong. And I can still be strong, but look the part of being strong too. So ultimately, I guess what I'm saying is whatever I decide to do, I'm going to give it 100% and I'm going to put my best foot forward and give it everything I got. No excuses. And the way I'm feeling right now, I'm going to be transitioning back to a bodybuilding routine 100% and just give it everything I got and just push forward as hard as I can, because there's no such thing as halfway crooks. Oh, that hurt. Okay, so that's it for day 4 of the suffering. So I only got, what, 86 more days to go. Not too bad, not too bad. So I'm going to finish up with some calf raises here. I'm going to pyramid my way up to 150 pounds. I'm only doing 5 sets of 15. And then I'm going to do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. Go in, do my protein shake, cook my dinner at 9 o'clock, eat my eggs. And that's going to be it for today. And I'll be able to put a bow on this, wrap it up nice and tight, and say, hey, this day was a win. And I successfully conquered this day 1 meal at a time. I was able to do what I needed to do. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.